Going over the good, bad, and ugly with this Simder MIG 140. Let's start off with the good, and at $135, this is one of the cheapest multi-process welders that you can find out there. Even though it says it's only a 2-in-1 because it's for stick and flux core, you actually can hook up a TIG torch to it and do some TIG welding. But let's just face it, you're probably not going to want to do or learn TIG welding with this guy. Inverter, so you get DC output in a very small package. And at only about 14 pounds, very portable. It's dual voltage, so you can run it off of your regular 110 horsepower or kick it up to 220, and that's without even changing anything. It automatically self-adjusts. It does come with wire, and if you've gotten any recent Harbor Freight machines, they've kind of nixed throwing in any wire. So yeah, if you want to get something similar, comparable, it would be their Titanium 125 or the Chicago Electric 125, and those do not come with wire anymore. It does come with a warranty, and nothing's broken on it yet, so haven't had to test that process out. Along with an extra contact tip, they do give you an extra nozzle, and with it being flux core only, you can never MIG with this. I don't use any of them, so throw this in the scrap pile to save for another machine. The DINS connections make it super easy to set up for your stick welding. It is an all metal case. This guy does have a little handle, which I do think is a little nicer than the strap. Now on to the bad. And the very first thing on the good list was it's cheap at only $135. And the first thing on the bad list is it's cheap. Not money-wise, but just poorly made. And I'll say that first off because the last thing was, yes, it does have a nice metal case, but this carrying handle seems like it's about as sturdy as my little boy's toolbox. And both of the brackets for the hinges, actually both already have cracks in them. Let's talk about controls here, okay? You got two, which seems pretty reasonable. Most machines do have two. One is for your voltage, and the second has an A. I would assume amperage. Now, typically, machines have a voltage and wire speed, not amperage control. Technically, I guess the wire speed does control your heat, the amount of heat going into it. So, you know, it's kind of related, but it's just different than most machines. This is not even a 5-foot length cord. It's only about 4 feet. Yes, with the adapter, you do get an extra foot, but that's when you have to run off of 220 to get only a 5-foot cord. And likewise with the leads, you've only got about a 4-foot length with the ground clamp and a 6-foot for the MIG gun. You definitely can tell that it's made overseas, and that's just because the manual's even a step down from an IKEA manual. So pretty much useless. They call it a MIG 140. They don't even call it a gasless MIG. It really is just a straight MIG 140. And I think that is a little misleading because, well, it can't do MIG. It's only flux core, so probably should be a gasless MIG in my opinion. The digital display does read off the amperage control, and it goes up to 140. So you would think it would be a max output of 140, right? Well, not so much. It's actually only 120. So really the scale does nothing. You're just going off of a 1 to 10 type range. You actually do get 3 options to choose from for your process. You get stick, then the second one is 0.8 millimeter wire, and then 1.0 wire. Now with you being able to choose the difference, I don't know if that actually changes anything inside the machine other than just a button. And I say that because I tested it on both as well and got very similar welds and could tell very little, well actually I couldn't even tell a difference between them. So I think it's just a nice shiny button to maybe act like another feature. Don't know. And lastly, there are no suggested settings. So you're really messing with the settings to fine tune your welds. And just in case you want to know, I did test the wire speed, so you can kind of use that as a baseline. So for example, if you've got I did the middle first, I don't know why, but anyway, if you're at about 22 on the display, then that gives you 75 inch per minute wire speed. 70 is equivalent to 120 inches per minute, and 140 is 170 inches per minute. So if you want to go off of a chart online, well, that's a great starting point with the wire speeds. Now moving on to the ugly, and I really don't like seeing any open circuitry or anything like that. It's just, well, looks ugly. So that's the only list item I've got for that guy. Even though the bad list may have seemed a little longer than the good, it is a cheap welder that does weld. So if you don't have that high of a budget, or you're just looking for something small, portable, to do the odds and ends around the garage or shop, well, this is a great welder. Just keep in mind, it's cheaper, so you don't have the nice multi-functions or even controls. You gotta play with it a little, definitely test it out. But by the end, I mean, we were running some pretty good looking beads. I would say, yeah, it's probably worth picking up if it fits your criteria. That's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.